Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you probably are already aware that I'm in the middle of my deep dive into the Lenormand system. The system that was originally created by a card maker company in Germany under the name, translated into English, The Game of Hope. And then when they exported it to France, they added the name of Madame Lenormand to increase sales and popularity, and it was apparently successful because now there are Lenormand decks all over the world. And I am happy that there are Lenormand decks all over the world because I've really enjoyed diving into the system and really giving it the attention that I think it deserves. And I hope that you're getting something out of it as well, because I really do think it has had a positive and deep impact on the way I read other cartomantic systems. For example, Oracle, Tarot, etc. So it's good for me. I hope it's been good for you. And I have a spread already laid out for us. Yeah, I'm sure you're anticipating that. And before I get to reading that spread, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank you for doing all of those things that you do, for hitting the thumbs up button, for commenting in the comment section, either below or beside, wherever you find your comments, for subscribing to the channel. All of those things that you do help us become more visible to other people who might want to join our community. Friends, so that is a wonderful thing, and thank you. And just a little bit of housekeeping. Two things. I'm going to be gone for a week. Yeah, I'm going on a vacation to Italy, and so next week's video is not going to appear for you. I'm sorry. I was thinking about trying to do an extra week ahead, but I was just not able to do it. So there is that. However, I am starting a new, what could be a new series on the channel. And it would be a once a month thing, I think. It's a review of a deck review where I will work with the deck for a month, personally on my own, and then I will give you my reaction to it. Yeah, and the title of the series for now is called Deck Dive. I guess you could probably understand why it's called that. Instead of a deep dive, it's a deck dive, yeah? So, just my attempt at wit. That's my plan. I've got my first video already ready to be recorded, if that makes sense. I think it does. And so that'll be up probably during my 1 week hiatus from my deep dive into the Lenormand system. So I'll have something up there for you, but this video will be on pause for a week. And when I get back, I'll get right back into it. Okay, friends? So I have, like I said, a spread already laid out for us. And what we're going to do is I will show you the spread. I will tell you a little bit about how I read this spread and what deck I'm using. And then I will show you the spread again, and we will start reading it together. Friends, are you all ready for that? I hope so, because here we go. This is the second week that I have used this deck. Yeah, it's a mass market deck. It's called the Grand Tableau Lenormand. It's a lovely deck. I like the antiqued color scheme of the deck. I like that the images are really clear. They're very bold. You can see immediately exactly what it is. I like the antique drawing style of the deck as well. The backs are nice. I like the backs. The size is wonderful. I mean, it could be a little smaller, but you know, I've got some mini Lenormand decks, and those mini Lenormand decks for these hands are really difficult to manipulate because they're just too small. And this deck is a wonderful size. frankly speaking. It's a wonderful size. I think it would work even for a grand tableau in person. I've got a table that would work putting all these cards out on it. But if it were just a little bit smaller, I think I would be a little bit happier. But still, it's a wonderful deck. It's easy to shuffle. It's durable. Fabulous deck. And there'll be a description. There'll be a link in the description box if you want to go get this deck on Amazon. Just a reminder, I am not an affiliate. I do not get any money if you order using that link. It's just there as a public service. Yeah? So yes, what you saw was a 9-card spread, right? It's called a window pane spread by some. It's called mini tableau, I think, by others. I just like calling it a 9-card, just because I'm basic like that. And we're going to read the spread in a couple of ways. Now, we're going to read it in the columns from past to future. So for you, it would be this way, yes? From past to future. We're going to read the rows from top to bottom. Top being what's on our mind, the middle being what's happening in the world around us, the bottom being what's below the surface, yeah? We'll read corners, yeah? We'll read the diamond. We might go into a little bit of knighting. Knighting, you know how a knight moves on a chessboard? How it can go either 2 up and 1 over? That's all one move, right? Or 2 up and 1 over. Or it can go 1 up and 2 over in one move, yes? That's knighting. So what we can do in a tableau like this is we can choose a card if we want and see what cards it joins to by knighting, by either going over 1 and up 2 or up 1 and over, up 2 and over 1. That's it. Up 2 and over 1, down 2 and over 1, or over 1 and up, down 2, right? God, I hope that makes sense. Imagine a knight on a chessboard moving. That'll help. Okay, so friends, that's the way we're going to read this spread. And if you're all ready, I'll show you the spread right now, and let's get into reading. Here is the spread. Friends, you saw from the upper left-hand corner, we had the writer, the book, and the key. Then in the center, from left to right, we had the sun, the ship, the whip. The ship, the whip, right? And then below, from left to right, we had the lily, the bear, and the woman, or the partner for us in this spread. Because I read this spread for all of us through me. So, because I identify as a male person in a male body, the woman card is my partner card, even whether I'm straight, whether I'm gay, whether I'm bi, whatever, it doesn't matter. In this context, in this spread, this card represents whoever my partner might be. And it could be a sexual partner, it could be a non-sexual partner, a business partner, a colleague, a friend, the partnered person, right? That we are in relationship with. And so because is my partner card, ostensibly that will be your partner card, whether that partner is in a male body, a female body, a cis body, a trans body, an intersex body. It makes no difference. This card represents the partner. Okay, so let's get a reading. So how are we going to read this? Well, first I like to get a general overview of the energy, the vibe, the quality, the sense of the entire spread, right? And we see this is a pretty positive spread generally, yeah? Especially that sun card. That sun card, the way I learned it, is like a triple positive card. It shines its light on everything around it. And it softens every negativity. And even if it didn't, the spread is more positive than negative. Yeah, and I'm not going to go through the details of that because I've been through the details of that in previous videos, but this is a very positive spread. Now, if we look at playing cards, we do have a bit of darkness in the playing card realm. Yeah, so we've got one heart, which is the most positive, I would think, for me. We have 3 diamonds, which are positive. We have 1, 2, 3 spades, which kind of counteract the 3 diamonds, so they cancel each other out. But we are still left with 2 clubs to 1 heart. And so there is a negative bent to the playing cards. So even though the sun is generally very positive, we do have a bit of a negative skew to the spread, which makes me think we want to be aware and cautious of what's going on. Yeah, this isn't just just go dance in the fields and everything will take care of itself kind of spread. This is a spread that's telling us, yes, everything can be good, but we also want to be aware and attentive and not go blindly into life, right? Although we are reading the same question that we read every week, which is, how can we live our lives more intentionally? Now, how we live lives more intentionally is by opening up to the power of intention. Yes, we open ourselves to that powerful flow of creative, active energy through the universe. And it will guide us in the direction of those things that we want to experience in our lives. As it guides us into evolving into the people who will experience those things. So this spread isn't saying, watch out, be careful, keep yourself protected by any means. Because the more we worry and protect ourselves from the bad stuff coming, which is different from being prepared for things in the future, right? There's a big difference between being prepared, making sure everything is in its proper order, and defending yourself, blocking yourself off from everything because you're afraid something's going to come and attack you. There's a big difference between those. And the preparing yourself for the future, making sure you've done your taxes, you've done the paperwork, you've gone to get your health check, you've done all of those things, and being open allows us to live life intentionally. Whereas being defensive and, oh my God, I've got to protect myself from everything, that is not a way to live intentionally. That's a way to reduce our access to the power of intention drastically. So this spread is not saying, put your fists up and protect yourself, protect your vital organs or any of that. It's saying, be aware of what you're doing. Don't slip into bad patterns or old patterns and bad habits. Be open, be clear, be aware. Right? Yeah, right. Be aware. We need to be aware of what we're doing and how we're behaving and how we are interacting with the world. So, why do I say that? Why am I going into that so much? Well, we're going to start off with the central card, because the central card of this spread is the main idea. And that main idea was, I forgot to bring my cards closer to me. The main idea was the ship, right? This is the ship. And the ship is what? The ship is our vehicle to travel great distances. Because at the time of the creation of this deck, there were no airplanes. There weren't even any helium or based like blimps yet. There were hot air balloons, but really people would move from place to place over large distances, generally if they could by water. There were trains, but by water. And so this is a vehicle of movement over long periods. It's also a way for us to transport goods from one place to another by rivers or by oceans. So there's commerce involved in that, trade, movement, but a slow and long distance movement. It's the way that we can go out and get the resources of the fish, although the fish are not part of this spread. The fish are our resources, and the way that we go out to get those resources is by taking a boat, right? So the ship card is a card of travel, of holidays, of being in motion and transition. Yeah? So I'm reading this spread in a couple of ways. When I laid this spread, it really did speak to me personally, because I thought, so for me here, I can see some information about my trip to Italy. Even though I'm not taking a ship, I am traveling a long distance on a holiday, right? So there is that. But for the general collective of all of us, I'm reading this spread in a very different way. I'm not suggesting that we are all going to go on a holiday this coming week. There's that idea of transition over great distances, but distance of time as well. It could also be longing. It could be just the vehicle that we use to move. It could be a card for our motor vehicles. You might want to pay attention to a motor vehicle if you have it. For me, I might want to pay attention to my bicycle, since that's my mode of transportation, aside from this trip to Italy, right? So, traveling, being in motion, being in transition, and maybe also trade and commerce could be important, but I don't see that right now, particularly because I don't see the fish here, and I don't see the anchor. So, probably this isn't about work and about finances, it's about our transitions in life and moving through life. And the card that is modifying this for the general message of the spread is the writer, right? And what is the writer? The writer is somebody who brings news, somebody who comes very quickly into our lives. So it's somebody who brings messages. Think also Pony Express if you're from the United States, where the Pony Express would bring messages like a letter over great distances, but more quickly than perhaps a train. And they would ride across the long distances of the West in the United States to bring messages to people on the West Coast and then back. Yeah? So, but this is quick news, quick messages. Things are going smoothly. So that's another meaning for the writer, is that things go smoothly. It could be a person. On our journey, we could meet somebody who is youthful, athletic, maybe informative, maybe dynamic, outgoing, communicative. Could be a male visitor that comes to us and maybe begins or helps us on our journey, our transition. It could be a young suitor, a young lover, male lover. But I think for us generally, we're thinking about, on this journey, we receive messages. During this transition, this long transition, we will receive movement and news and messages that will help us on our journey. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So, we're going to start off with the top of the spread. Remember, it's all about the journey, all about our transitions and movement through space-time. And so the first cards we've got, again, at the top. Let's read columns first. Column from the past to the present to the future. So, the past, we start off with the writer, right? News. Something jumps into our lives. That perhaps sets us on this journey. That movement. And things are going well. And how do we know that things are going well? Because the card that modifies this is right below it, which is the sun. The triple happiness card. Yeah? What is the sun? The sun radiates light, is the source of the energy for life and creation here on this planet. It gives us warmth. It gives us our ability to move, right? Without the sun, if we're cold, molecules even become less mobile, even immobile. Now we freeze in place, right? But the sun thaws us out and makes us more fluid. Considering we're bodies mostly of water, the warmer we are, the more fluid we can be. So this is a card for happiness, success, and growth. Also warmth, light in our lives, beautiful things, beautiful experiences, beautiful people. So we've got this writer who brings in it's a happy news of success, news of warmth and light. This is what we have come from in the recent past, right? And it's about the lily, which is an upright message. Remember, last week we had that reading about maturity and virtue. So while that reading was a bit challenging, this could be pointing to that, right? Our virtue, our harmony, our being able to stand upright, and our growing maturity. So we've got this idea of, we've gotten news, perhaps last week's reading, about happiness and success. I'm sorry, let me rephrase this because my grammar is off. We've had happy, successful news of warmth and light, pointing towards our harmony, our maturity, our virtue, which has started us off on this journey, right? And where last week it was burdensome, now we've moved through that burden and we're carrying that burden into a progress in light. Yeah? And then for the present, what do we get? We start off at the top with the book. What is the book? The book is a way to publish information. It's different from a letter where it's from one person to another. The book is our one person disseminating information and knowledge to many people. Of course, we want to remember that at the time of the publication of this deck, the creation of this system, the literacy rates in the Western countries, Europe, even more so in the United States, was low, right? The wealthy mostly read, male and female. Perhaps less female, but there were novels written for women with money. Yes? The middle classes were more literate as well. More literate, certainly, than in the Middle Ages. But the poorer classes, the workers in the newly developing manufacturing businesses, the industrial age, this is the beginning of the industrial age, those poorer workers were much less literate. Some had access to education, but not all. Those who were still working in the farms and the fields out in the country had even less access to education at the time of the creation of this deck. So it was possible, but again, literacy rates were low for the greater portion of humanity, especially in the Western European and English-speaking Americas, right? Probably also Spanish-speaking Americas. So the book is a card of knowledge, of learning, but also of secrets, because the knowledge and learning is not available to everybody. We've also got the idea of the book being read directionally, but we're not going to get there yet because we're reading vertically and the book's directionality is on the horizontal plane. Okay? So the book is secrets which are not shown yet, but what is hidden can be revealed. It's knowledge, something that is closed and asks for studying and learning. Does that make sense? And this path or this course of learning of the thing that was hidden being revealed is modified by the ship, which means that this is going to be a long journey to get this knowledge learned and the secrets revealed. Right? It's going to require time. It's a process that, will take us through space-time. Right? And it might be beneficial to our commerce in the world. It could be commercially beneficial for us. But again, it's not like about resources. It could be information about how we're going to conduct our business. But again, it's not something we learn quickly and move on. It's a long journey. And that moves to our bareness. We embody the bear. Right? What is a bear? The bear is the strong, high-ranking creature on the scale of predator and prey, right? It's a super predator in its environment. It is strong, but it's also very protective of its cubs. We have that feeling, right? It hibernates, so it moves. It can move quickly. It can be very aggressive, but generally, unless there's a need, it moves fairly slowly. It supports those around it. It isn't aggressive for no purpose. And it actually is a little bit omnivorous, right? It can also eat plants. It can eat berries. It can eat honey. It enjoys herbal diet as well as meat. Yes, it enjoys meat, fish even, right? So, whereas a lion will go out and hunt down large mammals, the bear doesn't tend to eat large mammals, right? So it is high-ranking predator. Not many things will come after the bear, but it doesn't attack its nearest neighbor, right? It eats fish, it eats maybe smaller things, it also eats a partially vegetable diet. So, yeah, it's not a harsh predator is what I'm trying to say. Now, the bear can also be a woman. The bear could be a matronly woman, a mother. It could be a matriarch, a powerful woman. It could be a powerful woman even in business. It could be a boss. It could be a boss person, either male or female. So if our learning is going to take time, it might increase our strength. It might increase our strength and position at work. But it will make us stronger, right? It will make our position and our ability to interact with the world stronger. Not necessarily in an aggressive way, just our power will increase. And we might be able to protect others better with this increased power. We might be able to and the bear is right next to the partner card. So we might be able to, we'll get there later, but we might be able to protect our partners better with the knowledge that we have. But I think there's a larger idea of the long distance learning that we're going to that we're engaging in, just increasing our personal power and our sense of security, perhaps even, in the world. Yeah, and so that's where we are now. We're in the middle of this journey of knowledge and increasing strength. And where are we moving? We're moving into, we begin with this top card, the key. A very positive card in the deck. What are keys? Keys unlock things. They can unlock secrets, right? They can also lock away things and to protect stuff, but they unlock things. They open and give us the answers, right? They can unlock our treasure chests. They can unlock our diaries. They can unlock our homes, the cabinets on our homes. They unlock our cars so we can become more mobile. And they also lock those things down so that they are protected from outside intrusion, right? So what is this key? And you see how bright this key is, right? We've got this golden background on the key showing us a lot of happiness, although I don't read Lenormand the same way I would read a tarot card with, oh, this color on this deck being yellow means this is a happier key card than this card with a blue background. We don't read Lenormand. I don't read Lenormand that way. But the key card is success, right? Certainty. Answers to our questions are available. It also says, it will be this way. This is the answer. Yes, right? It's like an exclamation point. And we can have confidence that we have what we need. And that's where we're moving into. We're moving into our success. We're moving into our increased certainty. Yeah, we're moving into answers being opened to us. Probably because we've started this journey of learning. Right? And how is that yes card? That yes card is modified by this card, which is where I get the idea of, okay, we want to be aware, right? We want to be alert. The world needs more alerts. We want to be alert. Because this card can go a couple of ways. Yeah? This card can lead us toward arguments. So, okay, what is a whip? The whip. It's something that we use to get animals, especially, but sometimes even other people, to do what we want. Now, it could be a sexuality card, because the whips are also used in that way by some people. But it's traditionally how we get animals to move forward, and also how we punish people. Yeah, but we also see that we have a broom on this card, and the broom reminds us that it's a repetitive action, right? It's something that we use to clear out the dirt from our homes. So it can go in two different ways. It can go in the direction of argument and speaking harshly, or it could go in the direction of repetitive actions, repetition, maybe a little bit of clearing out of old dusty stuff. Yeah? So the whip is, again, purging, repetitive actions, routines. But it's also power struggles and arguments and speaking harshly. It could be exercise and dance. It could be punishing other people. It could be our passions, both our angry and sexual passions, as well as religious passions. Remember, this deck was published at a time when some zealously religious people would punish themselves with whips to make the divine happy with us and remove sin. And remember, if we flagellate ourselves, self-flagellation, it also does an interesting thing is it increases hormones, some hormones like the endorphins. Just like you get that runner's high, there was a flagellator's high that gave them, some people, the feeling of more connection with the divine. So we do have that idea of self-punishment here, but because this is modifying the key, I think what we're seeing here is that this success, this certainty, and these answers could be from either getting into arguments and fights, or it could be from doing the work and clearing out the dust. And I think this is the key card that is telling us we have, I want to say duty. We have the duty, but we have the possibility of making a choice. We don't have to fall into being argumentative and speaking harshly towards others if we don't want to. So, I think we want to be aware in this coming week of how we are speaking to others, how we are interacting with others. Are we lording it over others? Are we argumentative? Are we speaking harshly? Are you super critical? Or are we... And remember, if we're doing those things, we are not open to the power of intention, right? If we're being critical and giving somebody a tongue lashing and we are arguing with others, we are not open to our own power. That power that was indicated by that bear card. We're closing ourselves off. We're moving into that defensive that defensive, aggressive stance. I don't think we want to choose that. We want to choose the action of doing the work, clearing it out, studying, having a good practice of studying, having a good routine that will help us to find answers routinely and get information and be routinely successful. Yeah? Leading to benefits with our partner. So, are we going to, with our partner, are we going to be critical and lash out and be argumentative, or are we going to establish a routine with our partner to find success in the future? I know which one I would choose. Which one would you choose? Yeah? So friends, we've read the cards in columns, right? Now let's move into reading them horizontally. And we'll start with the top. This is what is on our mind, right? And remember, everything is about this journey, this being in motion and in transition, right? So we start with the top row from left to right with the writer, the book, and the key, which tells us that what? Perhaps someone is coming in. This is what's on our mind. News is coming in, maybe brought by a person. Maybe a person is coming in. And that person is coming in with information and maybe some secrets. Right? Now, this is where the book can be read directionally. Because the knowledge and the information that is carried by the book can lead to success and our certainty and answers. But remember, the book, if we look at the side where the binding is, and the binding is on the side of the writer. So the messages, we might not get the real information. The information of the messages might be a little hidden, might be hidden. We might not ever really know what the purpose or the meaning of these messages is that that are running around in our minds. However, we do know that the knowledge, the information, and the answers that we seek are available to us because the key card is on the side of the opening. So what is that telling me? It tells me what? It tells me that, yes, we're going to get messages. We're going to get messages, we're going to get information, we're going to get news that seems cryptic, right? But on the opening side of the book, we've got the key, which tells us that the key will open the book to reveal the answers. So we might want to be open to the possibility of not knowing the meaning of messages right from the beginning and not allowing that to mess us up. We might want to have confidence that though the messages seem cryptic when we get them, they will reveal themselves. Does that make sense? Now, we have the key to open them up, but we don't want to freak out because we don't know it instantly. We don't know the purpose, the information in the messages that we're receiving, and might be a little bit unsettling or not unsettling. Well, unsettling because we don't know. I don't know about you. If I get a message and I don't really understand why I got the message or what it's trying to tell me or the purpose, I start feeling unsettled. Now, I know not everybody does, but I do. So, for me, and perhaps even for you through me, if we don't know the purpose or it feels like we don't see the subtext of the message right at the beginning, it's okay. We'll get it in eventually. Right? Now, what's happening to us in our physical experience of the world around us? Well, we start off with the sun, which means right now we've got access to some happiness and some enjoyment and some growth. And that growth is going to move us on this journey that we're on, right? The sun is shining on our ship, which is moving towards this. So, yes, there might be a hitch in the road. And again, we want to be alert. When that hitch in the road comes up, are we going to move into antagonism and become reactive, or are we going to clear it out with the broom and keep moving forward step by step, keeping our routine, keeping our dance through life moving forward? Yeah? Are we going to do the routine of moving forward with the sun at our backs? So this is how we want to be aware of our movement through life and through the world right now. So what's going on under the surface? Well, we start off again with the lily, our upright, virtuous, harmonious selves. Yeah, moves us into our feeling of strength. Yeah, we gain strength from our virtue. We get strength from our family, perhaps even. We get strength from our feeling of harmony in the world. And that moves us into our partner card, right? And so our strength is with our partners, whoever that might be, whether it's a romantic partner, if you're married, that married partner, whether it's a close friend, whether it's a person that you're working with at work, a coworker, but a close partnered coworker, not just somebody in the cubicle across from you that you say hi to every day, somebody you're actually working with intimately. But that partner person can also be the source of our strength, but also be the recipient of our strength, right? Because I think it's an interactive relationship. So we're on a journey, right? A journey of success, of finding answers. We have the sun lighting our journey. We're getting messages and we're gaining knowledge. And that knowledge is giving us strength and increasing our maturity and our sense of harmony in the world. But we do want to be careful. We do want to be aware of potential reactivity within ourselves in this coming week. And we can sidestep that. We can clear that out. Now we've got another couple of ways to read this spread. So let me show you the spread once more so you can see it all laid out again and maybe review in your mind what we just talked about as we look at the ways that other cards can interact, right? We will look at, we might even look at mirroring cards, but we'll look at the corners. We'll look at the diamond in the center, if you remember from last week. And we might look at mirroring cards, and we might also look at a knight, especially for the whip. What knight's the whip? Let's take a look at those things. Okay, so here's the spread once more. We'll start looking at the corners first, okay? So, the corners. The first pair of corners we're going to look at is the pairing of the writer and the partner. Yeah? These two cards. We're in the upper left hand and the lower right hand corner, right? So, we could be getting messages and news from our partners, which might be what's moving, what is the experience that we're having on this journey and transition in our lives, yeah? Our partners could be feeding us information, could be feeding us news. If our partners have been far away, they might be coming back quickly. So yeah, the news information could be coming from our partners, right? And then what do we get? The key, which was in the upper left hand corner, was the key, and the lower right hand corner was the lily. So our success and our answers and our feeling of certainty come from our feelings of harmony and virtue and family. Harmony within the family and our feeling of being upright and mature are what is going to give us that feeling of success and certainty, which is wonderful. That's a very powerful thing, right? We're in a good place right now. Now the diamond things, right? We go from with the top center and the the middle left-hand side, we have the book and the sun, right? So the knowledge, the information that we get now brings us happiness, brings us our success and our growth, which we already pointed towards. So this really does give us some supporting evidence to the way we read the spread moments ago, right? The knowledge, the information that we learn is going to provide us our success. And our ability to do the work, to do the routine, to keep going, is going to make us stronger. Yeah, and the exercise that could be indicated here is not necessarily physical exercise in the world, but the mental exercise of learning is going to add to our strength. I think that makes sense too. Yeah, and supports that idea of learning and process being what is helping us grow and mature and get stronger for ourselves and our partner. And that some of that information, again, is coming from our partner. So let's look at mirrors, yeah? I didn't do mirrors in the last video, but the first mirror we have is the rider and the key. Now these are mirror cards. So the news that we get, the information that we get, the things that are coming into us are the answer. Even if it might seem cryptic at first and we find the meaning later, it's still what brings us the messages bring us our success. They bring us our certainty in the end. Yeah? And the next pair of mirrors we have is the sun and the whip. Yeah? So, with the sun shining brightly on the whip, our routines and our exercise, mental exercise, maybe physical exercise, our routines and our exercise are what is going to bring us our success and happiness and increase the light in our lives. Still, caution, we don't want to become argumentative. We don't want to be verbally attacking anybody, right? And the next pair of mirroring cards is the lily and the woman. So, we want to trust that our partners are also virtuous and mature. Whoever that partner is for us right now, whether it is a husband, a wife, a lover, a romantic partner, or some other kind of non-romantic sexual partner, that partner is mature, is virtuous, and we can trust that partner. Yeah? Does that make sense? Because, why? Because if we knight the partner brings us to which two cards if we go with knighting? We go from the partner up. Okay, so there are a couple of ways to knight the partner. One way to knight the partner brings us to a combination of the book and the sun. So, our partners, the knowledge we get with our partner will bring joy, happiness, and success. Actually, both ways of knighting the partner here bring us to the book and the sun combined. So we have happy information, happy knowledge, success through what we learn with our partners. So maybe if we have the possibility, we might want to engage our partner in our journey of knowledge and learning. Yeah? Or maybe we'll have more success in learning more about the partner that we have. That makes sense, yes? What else might we want to knight in this spread here? That rider is interesting, right? The rider knights to one to that, one to that. So, the rider knights to the bear and the whip together. Right? So, the news that we get could be powerful and repetitive. That could be coming at regular intervals. And the information we get is powerful, leads to our growth as in strength of ourselves. And so I'm really curious, what is this going to be? What is this information that is coming to us? That's a very curious thing. I see. What do I see? I see in the coming week a long journey that is a journey not necessarily in space-time, but a transformative journey of increased knowledge. And that increased knowledge and study, whether it's formal study or our study of life, brings us success and increased strength as people, and our feeling of security and our ability to protect others. And this isn't a quick transformation. This is a transformation over time. And maybe we're just beginning that transformation, or that transformation, we're in the middle of that transformation. But it's a transformation and a transition that was going to take time, and we want to be patient. And we want to do the work of listening, being aware of the messages that we're getting from our partners, but from other sources as well. We want to be aware of our reactivity. Reactivity at this time is going to be what can possibly trip us up. We want to make sure that we don't lash out when we feel unsettled or we feel knocked off balance briefly. We don't want to lash out. We want to feel stable. We want to feel strong. We want to feel our power. And if something rocks our boat, remember the boat is the center of this spread. If something rocks our boat, we don't want to start lashing out at whoever or whatever we see as the cause of that rocking. We want to clear out our mind. Clear out our mind and make space. Make space for the knowledge to come in, the information to come in, because it's coming. It's coming if we are open to it. And we are certainly going to be open to it if we are open to the power of intention and open to living our lives intentionally. In joy, that joy of the radiant sun. Yes? So friends, I think that's where this spread is pointing us. I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Does that make sense? Do you see another way of reading that whip card, that whip broom card? What do you think? Is this a positive spread, or is it a less positive spread? Maybe even a negative spread? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And friends, in just a moment, my online tarot shop, the QR code and the web address for that will appear for you. You can scan the QR code or just type in the address. It's very simple, derekjohnthomas.com. You'll go over to my website. You will see what I have to offer as readings online. So, all those many possibilities. Take a look at those things. For yourself, you could gift somebody if you want to. Gift somebody a reading. Very possible. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.